Mary McLeod Bethune was an influential African-American educator and civil rights leader who dedicated her life to promoting education and equality for women and minorities. Her unwavering commitment to social justice made her one of the most important figures in Black history, and her legacy continues to inspire generations.
Mary McLeod Bethune was an important figure throughout American history. Specifically with Black history and women's history, she served as an educator, civil and women's rights activist leader, and a government official. She founded her own college and set new standards for education among other and modern-day Black colleges. After she had died, they made a statue of her in Washington, D.C., and she was even put on a postage stamp. She was a model, a leader, and a very important member of history. Mary McLeod Bethune was an important figure in women and African American history.
Mary McLeod Bethune was born in Maysville, South Carolina on July 10, 1875. She was one of 17 children to her parents, Samuel McLeod and Patsy McLeod. They were both former slaves. She grew up in a large, impoverished family, which allowed Bethune to learn the value of hard work and perseverance from an early age. Her parents instilled a strong sense of faith in her and a commitment to education, despite the many obstacles she faced as an African American in the post-Civil War South. Mary's parents were determined to provide their children with the best education possible, but opportunities for Black children in the region were scarce. Nonetheless, Mary was a bright and determined student. She attended a one-room schoolhouse in Maysville, where her mother was the teacher. Mary's mother recognized her daughter's diligence and encouraged her to pursue education. When Mary was 13, she enrolled at Scotia Seminary, a boarding school for Black girls in Concord, North Carolina. At Scotia, Mary excelled academically, and her passion for learning only grew stronger. After graduating from Scotia in 1894, Mary went on to study at Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, becoming one of few African American women to receive formal theological training at the time. While in Chicago, Mary met and married Albertus Bethune, a fellow student at Moody. Together they moved to Savannah, Georgia, where Mary began her career as an educator. Mary quickly became an influential figure in the field of education, dedicating her life to promoting the importance of learning and equal opportunity for all.
Mary McLeod Bethune was an extraordinary educator, civil liberties head, and advocate for daughters' rights. Born in 1875 in South Carolina, she was the 15th of 17 children in a family of former slaves. In spite of facing important obstacles, she governed to take an education, attending the Scotia organization in North Carolina. Subsequently, Bethune became a teacher and opened a school for African American children in Daytona Shore, Florida, in 1904. In 1935, Bethune founded the National Council of Negro Women, an organization loyal to advancing the rights and opportunities of African American women. She further enhanced a trustworthy guide to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, served as the director of the Division of Negro Affairs in the National Youth Administration, and later as a distinguished advisor on minority affairs. Bethune was a determined advocate for the state of equality and social lawfulness, and she trusted that instruction was the key to empowering mothers and youths. She used her platform to speak out against bias, and she worked to devise opportunities for African American wives to participate fully in American society. One of Bethune's most meaningful accomplishments was the establishment of Bethune-Cookman University, a historically Black college in Daytona Beach, Florida. She acknowledged that education was the key to unlocking freedom for African American mothers, and she was dedicated to providing access to the university for all who seeked it. Today, Bethune-Cookman University stands as a tribute to her view and loyalty. Bethune's contributions to women's history cannot be overstated. She resisted continuously for equal rights and public fairness, and she paved the way for generations of women to follow in her footsteps. Her heritage lives on in the many organizations she created and the countless lives she touched. She remains an inspiration to all who seek to create a more just and equitable world.
Mary McLeod Bethune was an exceptional figure whose contributions to American history, particularly in the areas of civil rights and education, have not been fully recognized. Through her unwavering commitment to social justice and equality, she inspired countless individuals to fight for their rights and pursue their dreams. Bethune's achievements were all the more remarkable, given the time in which she lived. As an African American woman in the early 20th century, she faced immense obstacles, from racial discrimination to gender bias. Despite these challenges, she preserved and achieved remarkable success, founding her own school and eventually becoming a trusted advisor to multiple U.S. presidents. Despite her immense contributions, Bethune's legacy has not been as widely celebrated as it should be. Many Americans are not aware of her remarkable life story and the profound impacts she had on our nation's history. It is important that we recognize and celebrate her achievements, not only to honor her memory, but also to inspire future generations to follow in her footsteps and fight for a more just and equitable society. In conclusion, Mary McLeod Bethune was one of the most important figures in African American and women's history. Her tireless efforts to promote education and equality for women and minorities in the face of numerous obstacles were truly remarkable. It is our responsibility to ensure that her legacy is remembered and celebrated for generations to come.